NFTs haven't fully escaped the market rout this week, but the sector hasn't yet seen losses on the scale of cryptocurrencies. Let's take a look at that in more detail with Yehudah Petscher, who's NFT Relations Strategist at CryptoSlam. Great to speak to you as always, Yehudah.
Hey, thanks for having me back. Thanks.
Listen, some of the major NFT collections are holding on a little bit despite severe pressure in the broader markets. What, in your opinion, explains this dichotomy?
Absolutely. I mean, really, I think NFTs are going to be impacted in the same way that we're seeing the crypto market be impacted by the whole market, the global market. NFT prices are going to come way down. I just think they're lagging a bit behind the typical, the cryptocurrencies. Volume's way down. It's going to be a struggle to find buyers right now until we find a floor price on these NFTs. And I think really until the crypto market itself settled. I don't think we're anywhere close to it. But at this time, there's still opportunities to buy NFTs that have utility that's valuable to you. Or buy crypto art that you love. Most NFT projects, though, I don't believe are going to survive this bear market. I think this is the big one. What's going to survive are historic NFTs with low supply, something like V1 CryptoPunks and the V2 CryptoPunks. And as far as newer projects that'll survive, it's going to be those projects that are building partnerships. Pixel has a new partnership with Major League Baseball and the UFC. Artifact is now owned by Nike, and I know the CyberKongs are head down building right now. So those are all NFT collectibles at this point that they're significant to tens of thousands of collectors, possibly even hundreds of thousands at this point. So those are the ones that will survive. But again, I expect the NFT landscape to look very, very different over the next few months.
And amid all this panic, is there a growing conversation to be had too about the endorsement of celebrities in the NFT space, in particular as we see more and more of them getting in every week? Do they hold a responsibility towards their fans in such times?
I sure think they do. And first off, I love seeing celebrities get into NFTs. Johnny Depp's been in for a while now. Jim Carrey bought his first NFT last week. When you have a guy of that caliber come in, it legitimizes NFTs to their fan base. And so to that end, I do think they bear a little responsibility. I hope they make some kind of effort to educate their fan base, or at least steer them towards education. Jim Carrey in particular, he doesn't do movies with guns or violence because he feels responsible to not put that type of content out there. And I hope he takes that same approach here with NFTs. And I think he will. He's already engaged with the community and the public via Twitter Spaces to talk about NFTs. And it's a great sign of how vocal and responsible he'll be.
We're also seeing more and more people commercializing their NFTs as well. Snoop Dogg, Seth Green, among others. What rights does owning an NFT give you? And where does CC0 fit into all of this?
Yeah, so it is common these days that owning an NFT means you have some limited rights to use the image of your NFT. So whether that's making merch that you can sell or making it the identity of your brand, but that's not necessarily CC0. CC0 gives the entire public rights to do what they want with the art, not just the owners of those NFTs. So instead of a few thousand people having rights to create or brand using those images, anyone in the world can. And so CC0 will lead to even more exposure for those specific NFT brands. I'm watching three of those in particular, three big CC0 projects. There is Nouns, there's Cryptodes, and MFers. One or more of those could end up being the biggest brand in NFTs in the future. And because of CC0, it could really transcend anything we've seen to date. And I think the brand that's going to surpass the Bored Ape Yacht Club, besides probably CryptoPunks, it's likely going to be a CC0 project. Seth Green, by the way, there's a bit of a happy ending to that story. He was able to actually buy his Bored Ape back. It was a little expensive at about $250,000, but he'll get to make that show of his that features his ape, and hopefully they'll live happily ever after together.
Yehudah, thanks so much, as always.
Oh, you're welcome.